Alright, so here are 20 ways to instantly be more assertive. So, do you want to be more assertive? If hell yes, then welcome. Come on, join me in this journey. So regardless if you're wanting to ask for a raise, claiming your vacation days, saying no to your boss, disagreeing with your CEO or with whoever, a colleague in your organization, handling criticism from anyone, giving a negative review to an employee, to a colleague, to somebody in your company or even at your business. First, you need to get the basics right. And that's what we're going to talk about, the 20 strategies. And these 20 strategies are organized in 4 core fundamental areas. These are only 4 things that you need to master. This is the foundation of good assertiveness. So the first one is to manage negative emotions, to be curious is the second one, to express yourself is the third one, and to avoid weak language. So are you ready? Let's get on to the 20 strategies. So if you're getting those little, anxiety chills, down your spine, or if you feel guilty, you don't even know why, for no reason, or you're so shameful that you just want to hide somewhere, then you need to manage your feeling, your emotions, especially the negative ones. So here are a few things that you can do. Journal your communication challenges. Write down, hey, what's going on with me today? What am I feeling? What happened? What were my challenges at work, at home? And how did it make me feel? How did I react to them? What happened? What is difficult? What part is challenging? Keep a diary of this. Write it down every day so that you can get in touch with those emotions. Because otherwise, you're so used to them that they're almost like part of your personality. It's just there. You don't even know why. It's just there, and you can't even identify the moment when it happens or the reason why it happens because it's just with you all the time. So you need to become aware of these emotions and when they arise and why they come up. Then you can identify your negative emotions, right? So you can do this in your journal as well. You can think, okay, so this is what I was feeling. This is like the physical symptoms that I was feeling, right? I blushed. I felt, cold, this cold thing running down my spine. Fear, whatever it is. After you've identified the sensation and the reason, you can then identify the actual emotion. What is it that you are feeling? Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it anxiety? If it's fear, what fear of what? Fear of rejection? Fear of being left out? Fear of losing something? Once you know what your emotion is exactly, the name of it, then you can question where it came from. And usually a lot of these things come from your belief, something that you learned or you assumed from your past or from observing others or something that your parents told you or your teacher told you. But think about where it comes from and if it's serving you, because if it's not serving you, if it's something that it doesn't have a good reason to be, that it's just something that you believe, that you think, but there's no evidence and it's not a helpful belief, then get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. Before you get rid of it, you need to understand where it comes from. And just by understanding where it comes from, it's a lot easier than to say, okay, now I see where it's coming from, so I choose to let it go and to replace it with something else. And then obviously, this one I'm sure you know very well. Breathe, exercise, meditate, take care of yourself, think positively, all those good things. Just spending some self-care time to make sure that you dress up, look good, feel good. It helps you feel good. It helps you tame those negative emotions. Why is that? What? Tell me more. How so? I'm intrigued. Now we get into the second big bucket, which is be curious. So this involves listen actively, and you've probably heard of listen actively. And yes, this is part of assertive communication, because assertive communication is not about being rude or being pushy. It's also about listen actively, being there, being present, understanding the other person. But as well as speaking, you're not just going to listen, but you also need to listen actively. Don't get defensive or blame So whenever you're talking to someone and you want to have that curious mindset and not get defensive and not judge. Even if you don't say it out loud, they can look into your eyes and your micro expressions and they'll know that you're judging them. And that's just going to shut off a lot of these very critical conversations, right? Or reduce your chances of being successful in these conversations. So don't get defensive or blame. And investigate. Being curious means investigating. Trying to understand, where is this person coming from? Why are they saying what they're saying? Let's say if they're, criticizing you. Why are they criticizing me? Why are they saying this specific thing? There must be something, a situation or a value they have. And then you need to understand that value. And that leads us to asking clarifying questions. Now, this is really important. You need to be asking questions very often. You need to be drilling, literally. Why? Tell me more. Why do you say that? Why do you think this? Because that is going to allow you to eliminate these terrible assumptions that we often make and clarify things, because it's so easy to have miscommunication between people, right? So asking questions, and that's when there's the communication actually happens. Sometimes people are leaving information out and you just don't know. Use and, not but. And is a connector and provides less of a conflict. So let's say you want to criticize somebody, right? And then you think, okay, you know what? First I'm going to give them a praise. So you're an excellent analyst. And then you say but. The moment you say but, the other person is going to completely forget and ignore anything you said before that but. And the only thing they're going to focus on is what comes after that but, which is the criticism or the negative part. At that point, it has a very negative twist. Instead, what you can try saying is, you're an excellent analyst, and by improving your presentations, you'll be able to better showcase your genius ideas. So you're saying, hey, you can improve, but it's a very positive spin, and it doesn't disqualify the initial compliment that you provided. Every time you hear the words should, must, have, or anything that is absolute in those terms, question it, because I can tell you there are very few absolutes in life. So these haves and shoulds and musts need to be questioned. The third part C, is about expressing yourself. So you need to share your intentions. And by that I mean, what is it that you want to achieve with that conversation? Especially if the other person is not in agreement or they tend towards conflict, or they don't want to listen to you. That's when you really need to show your intentions, that you want to solve something, that you want to help them. Perhaps you want to improve your productivity so that you can be of better service. So intention helps you build trust. So whatever happens, you want to show that you have positive intention. Share your ideas, your feelings, and your desires. This is about self-expression. And this is where we're going to talk about it using the I statement. Using the I statement, that's I want this, I feel that, I would like, I need, I'm uncomfortable with, I get frustrated with, I would really enjoy, I'd like to be compensated this way. You need to express your desires, feelings, needs with I statements. And even if something's bothering you, you want to share that with an I statement. Because when you say I, you're letting people know that this is about you. It's not about them. If you say you, it's very easy to become a blame game or judgment, sound like judgment. But when it's about you, then the other person is relaxed and they don't have to worry as much about defending themselves. So they're more likely to listen to you. Another a phrase construction that you can use is when, then I. And this is great to communicate a relationship between what the other person does or doesn't do and the impact on you. So when something happens, a situation, and we want that to be as specific as you possibly can, in that description of the behavior, right? Not a personality issue, just an observed behavior or observed situation. When this situation happens, then I feel this, I feel that, I get worried, I have issues with whatever. Another phrase construction that you can use is the if-then to communicate consequences. So you could say, if you don't come to meetings on time, then I cannot recommend you for promotion. Okay. Perhaps not sure, my bad, don't listen to me. Avoid weak language. That's the last piece. Avoid weak language. So don't say sorry all the time. You know, there's people that are always apologizing for absolutely anything. I used to apologize for having to excuse myself to get out from the room, or apologize for, eating, or apologize for having to go to the bathroom. You don't have to say sorry all that, like for any reason. You just say sorry when there's actually something to feel sorry about. You can feel sorry for the other person, but don't be sorry for being who you are. You don't say sorry for that. Don't hesitate with, with expressions like maybe, perhaps, I'm not sure, I might be wrong. Right? I'm not sure, I may be wrong, but perhaps you could give me the job. You think anybody's going to give you the job if you sound hesitant that way. Don't over justify. Keep it short. When you go over in circles and really make up this huge story, people lose interest. They might trust you less. It just doesn't come out professional at all. Right? You want to keep justifications short. And it also shows weakness, because it's almost as if you owe this really detailed explanation to that person and you don't. So don't overdo it. Complete your sentences. Sometimes, let's say you're in a meeting and you start a sentence, you start expressing an idea, and then you let it fade away. You don't finish your phrase because somebody else starts speaking. You get interrupted. You know, these meetings, there's a lot of people talking at the same time. And instead of finishing your sentence, you go silent. And then you start listening to whoever interrupted you. How's that going to work? You're empowering others or disempowering yourself. You have to finish your phrase. Finish your sentence. And then listen to others. That way, you're teaching them to respect you. And repeat yourself as needed. So you said it once, they didn't understand. Say it again. And say it again. And you don't even have to change your words. Say it again as needed. If you want to learn more, check out, we have a great free training on how to be assertive without being rude. It's completely different than this. It's really about how can you be confident, speak in an assertive way, communicate assertively, and not be pushy, not be aggressive, not be rude, be polite. Check it out on the website. You can click on the link as well. You're going to love it. Can you do that? Here's the recap. Manage your negative emotions. We talked about journaling, identification of the emotions, putting word against them, questioning where they come from, and then taking care of yourself. Being curious with, active listening, not getting defensive or blaming or judging, investigating the criticism, asking clarifying questions, using and instead of but, questioning any absolute language. Express yourself. Share your intentions, your ideas, your feelings, your desires. Use I statements, use when, then I, use if, then to communicate consequences. And don't be weak. Avoid weak language. So don't say sorry all the time. Don't use hesitant language like maybe, I'm not sure. Don't over justify. Keep it short. Keep your justifications so short if you decide to give them. Make sure you finish your sentences and repeat yourself as needed. So there you go. Those are the 20 assertive strategies. I hope you are successful implementing them. It's a lot of things to remember, so you're gonna have to do this in baby steps. Doing one little change at a time. But yeah, you should check out the How to Be Assertive Without Being Rude free course. It's about, I have 1 hour of content in this course, but the core content's about 35 minutes. And you're going to love it. You're going to understand exactly how to be assertive in a polite way without being rude. Thank you for watching.